What does a 2,500 USD monthly social media management package look like? This is what I'm going to be diving into in today's episode of the Dishing Up Digital podcast. And bring your notebook because this is going to be seriously valuable. And I know last time I did a video, I'm also recording this on YouTube, by the way, so hello if you're watching there. But last time I did a video on this and I broke down a 3K package which did include ad management and organic Instagram management. Spoiler alert, this coming up package, or this next package I'm about to share, does not include ad management, but I know you guys loved that past video. The only criticism from you guys was that I didn't jump into the good stuff straight away, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut the fluff and get into it. I have on my screen above me the exact proposal that I sent to this client that they ended up saying yes to. So I'm literally going to read off the deliverables and share them with you. Hopefully this is informative if you don't really understand what social media management is and what to offer. Hopefully it's useful if you're just getting started. And also if you're a little bit further down the track, I think this is a really nice check-in for you to reevaluate your own prices. So let's dive in. I did actually send this client 2 different package options, and this was the premium, more expensive one. And I always think that's really cool to note because everyone assumes your client's gonna choose the cheapest option, and that's a lie. Another thing to note, this is an Instagram package that includes auto sharing to Facebook, but the primary focus is Instagram. So the first thing on this list is 20 posts total for the month. This works out to be around 5 posts a week. And this is a schedule that we kind of came to together with that particular client, something that suited them, their business, their capacity, and also their budget. I think obviously that's the first kind of obvious step if you want to increase your packages and your prices. Offering more posts and finding a client who is keen to sign up for daily posting or at least 5 days a week, that is your first step. Now the next thing within these posts, what's included is 2 to 3 weekly reels. So out of those 5 weekly posts, 2 to 3 of them will be reels. Reels is another key thing if you want to increase the value of your packages. They obviously take a lot more time to edit and put together. My service that I also offer in this package is to storyboard and research reels. So I will provide my clients with either a Google Doc or a Google Sheet guide on what to film. I do all the research on trends and potential hooks. If it's like a chatty video, I'll write out a little script. I do all of that research for them. And this has been super successful for a lot of my clients because it takes away the pain of reels and makes it really easy for them. It makes it easy as possible to create content, which is a win for both myself as a social media manager and also the client. I've had clients tell me that they would never have touched reels if it wasn't for me and the help and the assistance I give them in that department. So that is a really big thing, and I'll always charge more for reels because of that. The next thing I'd also include in a proposal or, a package is a number of graphics or carousels that I would typically include. Now for this premium package, I actually just put it as unlimited. For a price like this, 2,500 USD a month, for me, that is a high ticket client. I am willing to, make a 10 page long carousel for them. I'm not going to charge them extra for that. If this was, say, a client back in the day, if I was charging $500, I would definitely have a set number of graphics that I would be creating, and also most likely a set number of revisions as well, because I have run into that problem in the past with clients when they become quite fussy and they get me to change the background color of one graphic about 5 or 6 times, and it is really time consuming. So do make sure you include that in your proposals or in your contracts. One thing you're going to keep hearing me talk about when I walk through this package is a lot of these perks like unlimited graphics, and another thing I have is kind of unlimited Zoom meetings. I didn't put like monthly reporting or monthly catch-up calls. I didn't put that into the specifics. And for this client, I've already had 3 meetings with them in the last month and a half. And that is the thing, if you want to offer a premium package, you have to be willing to give your client the premium service and really make sure you have the time in your schedule to offer them that. Side note, this is also what can help you sell your deluxe high-level premium packages as a social media manager or service provider. When you add these kind of quirks, these unlimited things, these extra special bonuses to really nurture that client and give them the best experience possible. People like to buy luxury, right? This is why there's a Louis Vuitton, a Chanel, a Dior. These businesses exist because there's customers out there who want the premium experience. One thing that I've seen a lot of other freelancers do with their big ticket clients is sending out gift boxes as well. Like they get a little welcome bundle in the mail and things like that, I think are really important if you want to be stepping into this role of a premium service provider. The next couple of things on my deliverables list here are Instagram stories. I put a lot of effort into Instagram stories. It's not just something I put up one single story and I call it a day. I call it story sets in my contracts, and a set of stories is anywhere between like 3 to 10 individual story posts grouped together to tell a story, because that is my big strategy. I know this is kind of about packages and prices in this episode, but to touch quickly on strategy, for me, it doesn't work if you just put up a random single story. It has to have something a little bit more to it, something a little bit more valuable. I also work quite closely with my clients to create content with them, to collaborate with them on stories. So that might mean sending them a list of shots I want or prompts that they can reflect on. If they're like, oh, let me grab a story, what should I say? Let me look at Alan's list. Cool, check that off. They can then send it to me. They can post it themselves. If they send it to me, I might then follow up their little soundbite of them talking to camera, being like, hey, behind the scenes, just doing blah, blah, blah in my business. I might then follow that up with a testimonial graphic I've created. Something like that makes it a little bit more dynamic. And I see social media managers who will include something like daily stories in their Instagram package. And I would much rather, even in my premium package, offer something like 3 sets a week, because for me, it's all about the quality of your stories and being really strategic and not posting for the sake of posting. That being said, if this client came to me and they wanted an extra set of stories for the week, I would totally do that. Or if we were in a launch, something special was happening, I would very happily go the extra mile for them, because again, they are my premium client and I really want to look after them. But it is sometimes nice to put a little bit of a number on there so they don't push the boundary too much. I don't want to be doing 7 sets of stories every single week all year round. The last few things on this list are all about engagement. So community management when it comes to reposting tags, reposting any features, comments, anything like that, interacting with the community in that capacity. Also replying to comments, so making sure those comments on posts are replied to, and likewise DMs. And then I also offer for my top tier clients, I offer like an engagement service, which is basically me or my team going out, commenting on other posts. Kind of the goal is to increase your brand awareness. It will be something like 30 minutes a week of engagement. That's another tip. It's important to have a time cap on that and not just say, oh, I'll do some engagement for you. But the idea is you're going and commenting and interacting with other accounts to grow your brand awareness, to potentially have, users on Instagram see your brand name, see your username pop up, go visit your profile, maybe go follow you. You're commenting on similar accounts or people that might have common interests with you and your client. But that is the idea and purpose of doing engagement and offering that. And that is now something that I only offer in my packages that are probably closer to the 2K mark or up. Just because I think it is something that's time consuming. I actually outsource it, so I have community managers who will come in and do that for me, but I have to pay them, right? And that's not cheap. So if you want that service from me, it's something I'm going to charge for. And finally, the last thing on here is kind of like the Zoom calls that I was talking about. That's kind of part of it, but it's also doing monthly reporting and analytics. So making sure I have a good relationship with my client. I'm checking back in with them. I'm sending them reports on how, the stats, the data, the content is all performing so that we maintain really good communication. And on that note, communication, I don't have any sort of limit on that. It's very much open. When my clients need me, I'll be on emails. If I'm on holiday, I'll just let them know. Now, because in my last video, you guys told me off in the YouTube comments for talking too much in the beginning, I'm going to use the last couple of minutes of this video or of this episode of the podcast to talk a little bit behind my pricing, how I reached this level, I guess my history, and some advice for you guys who are wanting to increase your prices, because I feel like it's one thing to list off these deliverables and tell you how much I charge for my services, but it's another to actually explain the how behind that. There are so many social media managers these days, especially on TikTok, I find, that will be like, charge $2,000 for your services as a social media manager, or find 4 clients at $2,000 each, and then you've got $2, $4, $6, $8,000 a month coming into your business. And a question I get from a lot of the people coming through my courses and new social media managers who train with me is this kind of disbelief around the fact that there's people out there who are actually paying that. Like, for a lot of people, myself included, in the past, it's kind of a little bit mind-blowing that there are businesses who spend $2,000 a month just on their Instagram organic management. But the truth is, there are businesses out there. But a key thing for me getting to this place today, it has been building up my experience, taking on lower priced clients and smaller businesses to help build my experience and take those baby steps towards a 2.5K client. Now, this is my most expensive social media management or Instagram management package that I have ever offered. And I have been in business for about 4 years now. So 3 years full time, and then about a year before that side hustling. And I just want to say, past Ellen 4 years ago, no way in hell would she have been able to start her business at $2,500 packages. No way, not even 2,000 New Zealand dollars. 2.5K USD is more than 2,000 New Zealand dollars. It is a lot of money. Just like any job, the more that your skills develop, the more in demand you are. Think about this in the structure of the corporate ladder. The more years you're at a company, the more your pay increases. Same for me, I can walk into a client meeting now and I am like this little walking dictionary for all things social media, and the biggest research book on case studies of social media, because I have worked with over 500 students in my programs and courses and clients in the social media space for my agency. That is a lot of experience. I have had my eyes across a lot of Instagram accounts. I have worked firsthand on a lot of launches, and I'm not trying to like toot my own horn here, but I'm pretty damn good at my job, okay? I'm gonna say that because women should be more confident and more proud of their accomplishments. But what I'm trying to illustrate here is it's been a journey to get to this point. And wherever you're at in your own journey, this is possible for you. But there has to be some steps to get to those big, juicy, high-ticket premium prices. I'm not sure if this podcast episode will be up yet, but I did an amazing interview with one of my Dishing Up Digital School graduates, Millie, and she said this amazing quote in her interview that I just love, and it's the fact that every small client that you take on is one step closer to your dream $5,000 client. And that couldn't be more true. So today, if this package I've listed off, you say, oh my gosh, I do the exact same thing and I only charge $1,000 for that, that's okay. You're making steps towards the same level. But on the flip side, my other tip for you is to really start asking for these higher prices as well, because you build the experience right, you take the baby steps, you work with more and more clients, but it will get to a point where it comes down to you, your decision, your move to increase your prices. And in my mastermind, Scale on Social, which is kind of like the next tier up from the Dishing Up Digital School, if you guys aren't familiar with the programs that I offer, I often get quite a few graduates from the Dishing Up Digital School who come into the mastermind, and you work a little bit more closely with me, and it's all about scaling your business. And one of the big things is increasing your prices. Twice this year already, I've had my mastermind girlies who have gone out and increased their prices under my instruction. I have been like, no, add an extra $300 to that package, round that one up, or hey, why don't you just put the deluxe package out there as an opportunity? But you can also do something, an offer in your proposal that's a little bit more comfortable, but put it on your client to choose the price. I have done that just this year with 2 of my mastermind students, and they have come back and booked their highest clients to date. So they didn't make any changes. They didn't change their business dramatically. They didn't change what was in their packages, their offer, nothing like that. The only thing they changed was just putting the offer on the table, just increasing their prices. And for a lot of them, they didn't even feel confident doing it. And that's the beauty of working with a coach like me, is we keep you accountable and we push you to, try things that might not be super comfortable. You might think it's really expensive and unrealistic, and there's no business out there that could afford to pay this price. But the truth is there is, and you need to stop pushing your limiting beliefs around money and budgets onto your clients, because they could be playing a whole different game. They could be playing at a whole other level to you, and you are doing yourself such a disservice by undercharging. So I hope this episode has been insightful for you in terms of perhaps increasing your prices or reworking your packages to introduce a deluxe premium package that you can put on the table for your next inquiry or in your next proposal. And I also hope it has been insightful to see where I'm at 4 years on in my journey and what I actually do as a social media manager and the services that I offer. This is one thing that I always like to say in the podcast and, on my YouTube quite regularly, is that I am still a social media manager. I teach social media managers, I do coaching, I sell online courses, but I also still work one-to-one personally with clients. And that is what I think makes me a really great social media coach, is because I'm actually practicing what I preach. With my course students, they get the first knowledge, first access to anything that I'm working on with my clients, any updated social strategy, any updated packages and things like this. They see that stuff first and they get the in-depth walkthroughs. So if you are interested in signing up for the Dishing Up Digital School or any of my other programs, I actually have a free live training coming up that I would love to invite you to. I'm going to pop the details down below in the show notes of the episode, of the podcast episode, and the description of the YouTube video if you're watching over there. And I'd love to have you along and coming along to these free events. I only do them every couple of months live, and it's a great way to just test out my coaching, to come get your questions answered. I do really great Q&A at the end of the training as well. So come sign up and I would love to see you there. And in the meantime, I will catch you next week in the next episode of the Dishing Up Digital podcast. Bye guys.